everybody. Welcome to Fam for All Moms. My name is Sharzad. This is Susan, and today we have two very special guests. This is Freya and Natasha, the co-founders of Coolhaus, the best ice cream in Los Angeles.
In Los Angeles and on my Instagram.
Yeah, Susan was all about it, especially when she was pregnant. That's when you were introduced to it, right?
I mean, I knew about it, but then I really found out about it when I was pregnant.
It's so good, you guys, and they have so many awesome flavors. We're obsessed. And now we get to talk to them today.
Yeah.
Woo.
So you guys, today we're going to talk about alternate ways to get pregnant because one of them was pregnant. Can you guess?
Which one? Who could it be?
Ladies, congrats, first of all. You guys are new mamas.
Thank you.
Newish.
Yeah. You've got under one, you still get to say you're a new mom, I think, definitely.
Yes.
Over that, you're like a pro. You've like been through everything. So I want to talk about your guys' journey to motherhood. You guys got married in 2012.
That's right.
So then you waited a little while, and then how did you decide who was going to carry? Like, let's talk
All of
about
it,
that.
yeah.
It's interesting, and also even to that point, it's such a decision. The idea of like you're making an appointment to go and get pregnant versus like trying in your home.
Because it couldn't happen naturally.
There's a 0% chance that we could get pregnant together. We went to the doctor. It was disappointing news, but no, just kidding. I think we said a few years in that we wanted to start getting more serious about it.
Yeah, and I think it's important to note that we had our first baby, our company, Coolhaus, together. And so
I love that you said that because when I started Mixed Makeup, that's the same thing. People are like, when are you going to have a baby?
Yeah.
And you're like, I have one.
So we're actually old moms.
Yeah.
With our 200 babies, our employees, right? Yeah, no. Hi, Mason.
Mason's going to join this conversation.
Absolutely. So I think going through that experience really prepared us for having a kid. And I'm a year and a half older than Natasha.
Wow.
So that made it an easier decision that my eggs were shriveling first. So I was going to go first, hardly.
So I feel like you guys really approached motherhood like in such a smart way.
Well,
Very
because they already
Practical.
were already parents.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because you're both women.
Yeah.
You're just
I'm not going to you said it.
Yeah.
The truth. Yeah.
In my mind, like my imagination's just going that you just like flip through a calendar of like hot studs and you go, I'm making a baby with him and him and him. Like, how does that work?
It's Tinder for sperm.
Really?
I mean,
There's a catalog.
There should be a Tinder for sperm.
I know. This
FYI.
is an idea we have.
Yeah.
There is a
It exists in
catalog
Australia.
at the sperm bank, and
actually a printed one because the less that it's online, then there's like facial recognition software. It's actually keeping it analog printed makes more sense for something
Oh
like
gosh,
that.
I had it.
Yes.
Wow,
Anyway,
that makes
sorry.
sense.
Yeah.
we were looking at two local California sperm banks, Pacific Reproductive Services and California Cryo. We chose Pacific Reproductive because they cap the number of families that can use the sperm to 20 families versus California
I've read
Cryo.
a lot about that kind of
Which is,
stuff.
what's that movie, like Delivery Man or something?
Right.
Where
Right.
Gone has 1,000. I mean, that could happen.
Right.
In some cases.
Yeah.
Choosing a donor that, besides being tall and educated, well, we'll get to that part too, is that he kind of looked like the both of us.
Yeah.
And so we ended up choosing someone that was half Native American and half English Irish.
There's a lot of levels of verification, and they go through like it's quite a serious process for these donors.
Right.
You
I mean, I
really
guess
are
it's
donating
like
constantly.
fraud.
Yeah.
So if they
it would be
like
fraud.
lie.
Exactly, it would be a crime. But they also have to be very committed to doing this. Like they have to go like for a long period of time and keep donating. So you
Right,
really kind of
okay.
narrow it down.
Yeah.
The bank narrows it down to it is it's a business. So people they think that they're going to sell the best.
But it didn't work the first two times. And we did an IUI.
Okay.
So we didn't have to go through IVF, luckily.
An IUI, I should say, what that's. I mean,
That's
basically
it.
turkey baster.
Yes,
break it down.
sure.
You know?
So we had to pick a second donor, and that's when it got really interesting about what do we value.
Yes, because it didn't work the first few times, but also it ran out of inventory. We obviously know many amazing guys who, of course, would be like great, as donors and even potentially dads if you wanted to involve them. But that was just it. We wanted it to be this is our
yours.
child.
Yeah.
The donor is the donor, not the dad.
Right.
And it's anonymous because it's already a complicated thing relatively to do this, and it just seemed like adding one more variable. Even if a guy might say, hey, like, it's fine, you're a kid and I'm just a donor. There's a baby in the world, they could feel differently,
right?
You know, and
Yes.
dealing with all the legal ramifications, etc. So that was also a very specific thing. We were like, we wanted to use the anonymous donor.
Yeah.
So you guys were on the same page with like wanting an anonymous donor, and then when your first choice didn't work out, you were like, okay, round 2.
So round 2, we decided like, okay, we need to cast sort of a wider net because we don't want to feel that disappointed like we did the first time.
And we also started to realize, like, of course, like, someone smart, someone funny, someone, but I think that the thing we really realized is we just want this person to be a good person.
Right.
And to be kind, because so many things are nurture. I mean, education being one of the biggest ones you get caught on. A college degree could mean obviously that someone's very smart, etc. Or it could
they
just
had
mean
rich
they had
parents
opportunity.
that paid their way to
you
go to
don't
college.
know
Right.
exactly. And so it was more just about, is this person good-hearted, like in their essays and the relationships they had and their more emotional stuff.
Right.
And we started to choose based on that. And then it was really interesting because the donor we ended up going with for the third and final try, which is what got Freya pregnant, he actually didn't have a college degree because he was still in college.
Oh, okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Nice
nice young buck.
guy.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's also why it worked the first time.
exactly.
He literally had 3 times the sperm count of the
wow.
other guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there you go, men.
Yeah, that's
Boom.
right.
Yeah, that's right. And you
Young
and
buck.
you know so it wasn't that he couldn't get a college degree or
Right.
whatever, but people basically searched. That's probably one of the first things that you filter by.
So he
Right.
got filtered
And
out.
so he was much more available. Like he had a lot of vials. My theory too, we got on a plane right after the insemination. I feel like the gravity just
I like it. I like it.
Definitely.
Shot it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know, I'm so glad we did it that way because, as Freya said, it kind of took the pressure off, and like you realize so much of it as a parent, as a mom, is in your hands. I mean, you're giving them so much of their values and so much of the learning. It's like it's you know not going to be all about this perfect donor because
Right.
you could have that and then you just never know. It's you know this is life. There's no guarantees of anything.
So Natasha and I were talking before, and you said that you want to get pregnant next.
Yes.
Right. So, are you going to use
Same
the same
donor?
donor?
Yeah. I think, no, we plan on doing that. I did check actually yesterday. There's still, you know, a lot of vials. Although they didn't call me back. I want to order and reserve my vials.
I love it.
You can
That's
call
so
me back.
interesting.
You're like,
Yeah.
call me.
Customer service. But, you know, we want the kids to be related, at least to each other, which is not only so much like, oh, it's too complicated to explain. It's just like a little less rolling of the dice. You know, kind of the health and the biology is going to be a lot more overlap. And maybe there are some kind of genetic things that you're seeing that, okay, it's like one less unfamiliar thing.
Right.
You know,
Right.
like, oh, the other one will do that too, or whatever. So I think in some ways we see it as like simplifying it and
Yeah.
having them look alike.
And also, I think this is important to note, we chose a donor that was willing to be known. Remy, our son, and our next child can
Nico.
contact, yes, Nico, we picked the name
I
already.
love it.
I love
I've known my
that.
baby names since I was like 5. So yeah.
Can contact the donor when he or she is 18. So I thought that was really important to
That
us.
is
It's
cool.
Yeah.
exactly the plot of The Kids Are All Right.
What are the things that people ask you? Because I'm sure people are always curious, or maybe even like stupid and ignorant and say really dumb things
Yeah.
too, right?
Yeah, no, I feel like one of them, actually, this is a question we asked other lesbian moms, is what it's like to be lesbian moms with a son, with a boy.
Oh.
And is
Oh.
that
Yeah.
weird? Because this couple that we spoke to about it, they have a 9-year-old son. And so I was like, is that weird? Like, does he get made fun of? And she's like, actually, no, he's at the age where his friends think
They're jealous.
They're jealous. They
course,
want
'cause
two
They
moms.
love their mommy.
Of course
Yeah.
they
You
want
get to have
two
two.
moms. Yeah.
Do you get to choose the sex of the baby?
That would be with IVF.
Okay.
Yeah, only.
Oh,
Yes.
so IUI you can't.
No, yeah.
All right,
exactly.
that's good to know.
It's common to have twins.
Okay.
A lot of lesbian couples do have twins.
Yeah.
Because you are kind of, assisting the process a little bit with hormones, and there's many different regimens you
Yeah,
could take.
and actually that brings up a good point that the third try I went to a fertility clinic
Yes.
instead of getting inseminated at the sperm bank, and they basically were like, hey, they checked out my uterus, they're like, everything looks great, but why don't we just stack the deck to make sure that you get pregnant or increase the chances?
Meaning like you could have twins or something
Yeah,
like that.
so they
Yeah.
gave me, I forget the
Clomid, but it was
hormone, but it was similar to
Yeah.
Clomid. And it basically, instead of me producing 1 egg, I produced 2. So you can produce multiple eggs. When I was ovulating, they sent me to a pharmacy to get an ovulation injection shot to make sure that my eggs dropped.
Okay.
Oh wow.
And then I had to take progesterone vaginal suppositories.
Wow.
To make sure, because I guess with progesterone, it like ensures more that you keep the baby if you do get pregnant.
Right.
Okay.
So those are sort of the 3 steps that I think most people don't know about, but they weren't really invasive. It was not like IVF. IVF is really intense.
It is.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to actually go under for IVF.
Yeah.
So
And it's a whole external process. This is all happening.
Yeah.
within
So
your
doing
body.
that one time, I got pregnant.
Right.
And overall, I think, you know, 'cause a lot of people ask also, what's the cost, right? Like, how much is all this cost?
That's a great.
I would say per sperm vial, it's about $500 to $700. They stick a very small tube up into your uterus, and it doesn't hurt.
Okay.
You feel a little bit of cramping for like a few days after that, but that's it. So it's really not invasive. And then I would say that the fertility stuff that we did maybe cost around $3,000.
Okay.
So overall, we spent $5,000 maybe getting pregnant, which is still a third or a fourth of the cost of IVF.
IVF, I know.
IVF. Yeah, exactly.
IVF is really expensive.
How did your parents react to all of this?
My parents very supportive. Freya's mom super supportive. Freya's dad is not really participating.
Yeah. My parents are divorced, and my dad is uber Catholic, and so his whole thing is, one, he's obviously not okay with lesbians, 2, lesbians getting married,
Interracial
3, lesbians having
there's
a
lot of
baby.
things.
So
That's a lot.
I have 4 that she's Jewish because I'm supposedly
The Immaculate
Catholic.
Conception.
Okay.
Yes, you know. So yeah, but you know, us really, you know, the support that's there, so supportive, and both in LA. Grandchild on first grandchild on both sides.
Aww.
So it's just
lot of love.
been phenomenal. Totally. Both my dad's parents, you know, when we went and told them, so my grandparents, when we went and told them that Freya was pregnant, that was a really interesting one, because even going another generation ago, when it really
like
wasn't a
old school.
conversation,
Old school.
they were just like, it never occurred to us that you were going to grow your family.
Yeah, it never.
So they were pumped. Were they excited?
They were totally excited.
Yeah.
But I think really surprised. Like they didn't even really think of it as a possibility.
Right.
You know.
Do you guys think you want like a prominent male role model figure like in your son's life? Like, is that something you think about, or no? Because he's got 2 moms. Like, is that a conversation you guys have? What does that look like?
I think that we're like.
Does that matter? I don't know.
It's. I mean, I don't want to say it matters in the sense that we want good people around him, and they'll be men and women.
Right.
And I don't think it's like we specially seek it out per se.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, we just know of our group of really good guy friends. We're like, okay, like Andy's gonna take him to the museum and teach him how to be funny, because Andy's a TV writer.
Okay.
And then like Alex is really good at editing and video and rock climbing.
Yeah.
And so like Remy will go do that with him,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
And I've definitely spoken to all my guy friends about this and been like, you are going to do this with Remy.
Oh,
Okay.
and
Okay.
interestingly
Period.
too,
Yeah.
like at the shower, like it was like, you know, we're both at the shower. That would be like, as other women, you're like, of course I'm going to be like, you know, just
Right.
They're not always like that. And we had both like, you know, guys and girls there. It was like, and it was more informal, but I think that was also saying like, hey guys, you're like in his life equally, you know,
Right.
To some degree. Yeah.
Thank you, ladies, for being awesome mamas and doing your thing and sharing your story and being really open and funny and happy, and also for making really good ice cream, because it's the bomb.
It is. It's so
I'm
good.
fantasizing about it right now.
Yeah, it's so good. And also, you can find them in our private Facebook group. I tell you about it all the time because it's a great place to connect with other moms. So, you know, we'll all be in there. You can ask us more questions.
They'll be in there.
Yeah.
Or you can find Natasha on Instagram at Natasha J Case. Freya's not on there. You know?
We're lesbians. We share one wardrobe and one Instagram handle. So.
I like it. I like it.
I love your guys' attitude. Please subscribe to our channel if you aren't already. Give this video a thumbs up, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye!